Hello, Internet. It is I, Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we're going to be talking about Sound of Hope, the story of Possum Trot. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons, so let's get to it. Pros. Okay, reviews for this movie are actually quite good. Has a 79% critic score, but what's really important is its audience score. It's a 98%. It's rare to see a score that high for really any movie. So the fact that it's that high really tells you something. And I'm trying to see like its cinema score. It was an A plus. I remember looking at it like a day ago. Yes, A plus. You don't see A pluses all that often, but usually it's for movies that are either like really, really, really good or movies that appeal to a certain crowd and like they eat it up without question. I've seen that happen quite a few times. Usually, like a lot of faith-based movies tend to get like A pluses. Like it's hard to really, like you have to really go out your way like to piss off that crowd. And there are certainly ways to do that, but a lot of these like faith-based movies, like even if they are objectively trash, like in terms of like production wise, plot wise, character wise, if you show off the right message, the audience does not care. They will eat it up, no question. So yeah, but I don't think this is one of those situations. I think it's, judging by the reviews, seems to be like a much higher quality than a lot of movies like that. But still, an A plus is an A plus. So that's a pro, obviously. I'm trying to think of some other pros. Really, I can't really mention marketing because obviously this isn't the type of movie to have like a big marketing spend like a Despicable Me 4. It's more like grassroots, more small scale. So can't really mention marketing. Um, I don't. Okay, well, let's go with. I guess we can go with cons. Okay, for Angel Studios. Okay. Angel Studios. Last year, literally at the same time last year, they had an unexpected smash hit in the form of Sound of Freedom. Sound of Freedom, this was a movie I didn't even make a prediction video on because I knew nothing about it. I didn't know about its theater count. I didn't know anything. So I just said, you know what? It was opening like on a Tuesday. I was just like, forget it. I just didn't want to deal with it because I had so little information on it. It's not because of any bias, okay? But I was looking at its box office and I was just like, damn, what is going on here? This is weird. Opened like 14 million on 4th of July, then it collapsed immediately afterwards. I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna die off, and then it just didn't. It just kept going and going and going, and it was crazy. And it ended up making like 184 million, 250 million worldwide, which is a lot for a movie like this, especially for a movie that's not from like a major studio or anything. So yeah, enormous success. But as you can see here, not one of their movies, like before or even after, has even come close to matching that success. So the more movies that come out that don't do as well, the more I'm convinced that the Sound of Freedom success was a fluke. It was just a it was just like a surprise. It was a one hit wonder, if you will. Because the movies afterwards, like After Death, no one cared. Cabrini, no one cared. Sight, no one cared. The Shift, no one cared about that. And now we're at Sound of Hope. So, yeah, sure, they had one mega hit on their hands, but everything else is like not even like mid level hit. So, yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem. So, I'm gonna label that as a con. Angel Studios like box office track record, beside ignoring Sound of Freedom. What else? I'm not gonna label this a pro or a con, but I just want to mention Daily Wire. Okay. I don't like talking about politics, like, at all. I think there's too much of it out there already, and it's just insufferable. um, but Daily Wire, I'm pretty sure most of you know who they are. They're like a conservative like media group, and they begin into like the entertainment sphere, for better or for worse, and yeah, a lot of their stuff gets like critiqued and talked about, usually in a negative way. Um, I know recently, I'm pretty sure it was Daily Wire. It was a Mr. Bircham. If you've been online for the past few months, you probably have heard of this show. It's an animated show. It's basically Family Guy light. Um, I've never seen the show because I do not want to subject myself to that because I've heard it is awful. It is really bad. And yeah, so Daily Wire, I mean, they're not exactly like late, seen like in the advertising for this or anything. But I just got to mention like their involvement in this. I just have to because I thought it would be, because why not? Um, I guess I guess a pro is that it's a Fourth of July release. It went like better than expected. I mean, sure, it did nowhere near as good as Sound of Freedom. The fact its box was like a fourth of that movie, but 3.6 million opening day for a movie that had like no marketing budget attached to it, no like serious marketing budget attached to it. That's all right. That's like okay. That's better than It could have been a lot worse. Let's just say that it could have been a whole lot worse. So yeah, it had like a solid enough opening day. So I guess that's a pro. I forgot to mention. I guess I can mention that as a pro. But when it comes to other cons, obviously you have bigger movies out there. Despicable Me 4, Inside Out 2, and A Quiet Place Day 1 all out there. And even like this weekend, you have like Maxine, which is going to be like head and shoulders above the other like non Despicable Me 4 movies that are coming out this weekend. So yeah, a lot of big movies to worry about. And yeah, that's a con. And I guess another con is I'm yeah, this is like faith based. So this is partially faith based. Faith based movies, they are very notoriously difficult to predict. You never know if the audience will show up or not. And sometimes the audience does show up, but it burns out real fast. So you never really know. That audience can be real fickle when it comes to a movie that's like trying to that's like geared towards them. So yeah, that's a bit of a con as well. But I think that's really it. There's not much else to say really. So opening weekend, I mean, you think with like a Thursday number like this, you think, oh, it's gonna do really well over the weekend. It's gonna open with like 10 million or something. Not the case. From the numbers I've seen, this movie is going to fucking crash. Friday. It's expected to only make $1 million on Friday. So if you do the math, um, that's a pretty awful drop. And I'm looking expect to only make like 3 million. So it's literally gonna make less in 3 days than what it made in one. So that's a big yikes. Um, let's see. I guess I'm gonna go with that 3 million. Um, opening weekend because that's what I've been seeing, and it's total 10 to 20 million, maybe. I don't see this pulling a Sound of Freedom where it just like grows and grows and grows. I don't see that happening at all. I just don't see it. Like you can't expect lightning to strike twice. Like that's just ridiculous. So yeah, I'm just gonna say 10 to 20 million. But if something weird happens, and I'll be the first to say, okay, I messed up. I was wrong. But obviously, you gotta wait for that to happen, if it even does happen. But yeah, that's it. We're done for the weekend. So yeah. Now next weekend we got two movies, really one. notable one. That's Fly Me to the Moon. And then, yeah, so that'll be next week. And, we're done. So that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn notifications, share the whole drill. Check out more videos like this. I got playlists on the homepage, all previous prediction videos I made this year, the past few years. You can go right ahead. There's also the canceled series where I went over all the movies that were supposed to come up, didn't, for 250 episodes. Never talked about Sound of Hope once. So yeah, um, made yeah. I already talked about how many episodes I made. So if you want to watch any of those episodes from beginning to now, I highly encourage you to do that. So go do it. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. My June recap that will be next week, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos I made on the channel, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.